So let me know if you have any doubts in whatever is covered so far or whatever the topic we discussed yesterday. Otherwise, we'll move on to the today's agenda. Okay, so yesterday we discussed about right. Good evening, guys. So yesterday we discussed about if else and other things. Yeah, but we wanted to also cover switch. So today we'll also see switch statement. So the agenda today will be like we'll say switch, break, default things, and then we'll move on to the loops, right? What are the different types of loops? What are loops and how we do all this in Java. Okay, am I audible, guys? Yeah. Okay, so we'll just launch the Eclipse workspace. Yeah, so anyone have any doubt in whatever is covered so far? Like whatever the topics we covered, yesterday session or anything? Can you guys hear me? Am I audible? Yes, no. Okay, let's start with the today day. Like so let's pick a project. I will name it. Let us suppose we name it say Java Day 4. Just finish this. Right, we'll create a class. Let's say we just go and create a new class here. We'll discuss about say switch thing, right? So let's say switch maybe switch example, something like this, right? Okay, so let's see switch example today. So we'll just do say main method. And what is the difference between right when we talk about say switch statements or we talk about if else? So guys, right, if you remember right, whatever we discussed yesterday, let us suppose if we go to our say grading problem. So we did some say multi-branching, yeah. So here what we are doing, we are checking the marks and based on the marks we are giving the grade, right? If the marks is greater than right, if the marks is greater than 90, it's a grade A. If the mark is greater than 80, grade B, like this, right? So the same thing like will look more simpler when we go with the switched cases. Okay. So normally what is like switch case? Like it's similar to the if else only. It helps in the logical flow only, right? So okay, how to like and switch will always be based on some input variable. So normally how we'll see switch, right? It will be like we'll write switch, and in switch, right, we'll pass some variable like based on which we want to have different cases. So if we see our example of marks, right, we want it to switch based on marks. So let us suppose if I'm defining say marks and say marks is 70, right? So here we want to switch based on marks. So in switch we'll just pass the marks, right? And based on like for switch there will be multiple cases. So how we'll write? We write just like case. This is the syntax, and then we'll give say marks. Like if the marks is say 70, right? But in switch case, what will happen, right? It's like if okay, let us suppose if I want to say write something like this, say marks is greater than 90, right? So this will not be allowed here, right? Because it's expecting a integer here, right? So we cannot give any condition. It should be something like a constant. So like if you want to go for directly for this, it will not be possible because it needs some constant, because here we are passing an integer, it's also expecting an integer. So maybe if we take a say example of something like we want to convert say from numbers to days. So let us suppose if I talk about like if we take example of like something like, so say one is representing say Sunday, like something like this. If user is giving say input 2, it should be Monday, like this cases. So let us suppose if you want to convert this numeric thing to the days part, right? Weekdays part. So this all these things we can do. But yeah, if we talk about say marks where we want a condition to evaluate, in this case we'll not be able to use switch, right? Either what we have to do, like we have to make it boolean and then we pass. So it's not a use case for switch. Switch case, like it's in the case whatever the value is here, it should be something like a constant, like it's not going to change, right? So here like if I say, okay, if I define something like say int and we say day number, so you understood, right? We like for this marks example, this switch case is not our use case. So like you should understand that in which case we can use multi-branching and in which case we can use switch. Right now we'll just say day number, we just pass here, right? If the day number is say 1, what we want, well let us suppose we just print sys out, we use sys out here and we just print say Monday, right? Okay, what's wrong here? What's giving? Because we have not initialized this value, right? So here what we'll do, we'll just say initialize set with 2. Okay, now again we'll give, so similarly you can give multiple cases inside the switch. Then we just give say case 2, right? Or let us suppose, okay, for case 1 we want it to be Sunday, right? So we'll just say Sunday here. Similarly for case 2 what we can do, we can just write say Monday, right? For case 2 we are expecting Monday. For case 3, what will be the value? Let us suppose we want Tuesday. So we can also take these numbers as an input from the user, right? We can take all these values as an input from the user also. And based on that, we'll just get all these values, right? Similarly, you can add more cases also, right? We can have Monday, Tuesday like this, right? And similarly, okay, if you just want to say, if you just want to write a program which convert, right, this numeric values to days, we can do. And just write the short forms, right? It's Wednesday, right? Similarly, Thursday, like this we can do. So this is, and right, one thing you should understand, right? We cannot have duplicate cases. What does duplicate means? Like, so for one number, like if I'm saying 1 here, I cannot say 1 again here. It should be constant. Like it should not, like I cannot have 2 cases with 4. It should be something else. Like it can be 5, right? And similarly, we can have case 6, right? Where we are saying like Friday. Okay. And okay, some typing mistake here. Yeah. Similarly, okay, let's do it. So for 7, we are saying it's a Saturday, right? So this is how we are converting, right? So this here the switch will end. Okay. So guys, this is okay. So if I run this program, so I have defined day number as 2, right? So guys, if we run this program, what will the output of this program? What do you think? What will it will print us? When we execute this program, what will the output? So you can see here, right? What we are doing, we have defined day number as 2. Here we have given switch and cases. Like for case 1, when the day number is 1, we want Sunday. When it's 2, we want Monday. When it's 3, we want Tuesday. When it's 4, we want Wednesday. 5, Thursday, Friday, like this. Yeah, guys. So what do you think? What will be the output for this case? Do you want me to show the program here? Yeah. So what will the output of this program? Can you guys hear me? Am I audible or not? Can you guys hear me? Okay, I think I'm audible. Yeah, guys, so what do you think? What will the output of this? Like, what will it print, right? What do you think? Will it print only, like it can be, right? We are giving Monday, so it can just print Monday for us, right? Because the value which we have defined is 2, right? Except Sunday, someone is saying except Sunday. Okay, someone is saying it will print Monday, someone is saying it will print except Sunday, it will print everything. Okay. So, okay, let's run and then see, guys, what it's print actually. Okay. Yeah, so if you see here, right, except Sunday, it's printing everything. What's the reason, guys? So whenever we write case, right, so what we have to do, right? So whenever, right, so whenever we are writing case, what it do? It will execute them in the flow. Like if the case 2 is true, it will execute everything which is after the case 2. So it will execute everything. But if you don't want that, what we have to use, right? We have to use break here. So there is a break keyword. Like if you just want for one, if you just want this part to be executed and we don't want the subsequent cases to be executed, we have to break from that case. So this is how we use break in the switch case statement. So we have to put break always. So this is very important thing, guys. And many people, like, sometimes they are like in existing code, if they are adding more cases, they forget to add this break, which can be an issue later on. So we should always remember that we should have break in our cases. Like something like this. This will break once this case is executed, once this is executed. So now if I execute this, it will give us Monday. What will happen? It will come here, it will see break, it will get out of the switch, right? So whenever there is a break statement, it will just get out of the switch, right? Okay. So let us suppose if in place of 2, if I give say 10. So what is the output it will give me now? Like if I am giving 10 here, what it will give us the output? Will it give us some day or what? Right? So when it's 10, right? If we see, do we have any case for 10? No, right? We don't have any case for 10. So what will be the output? So guys, for these cases, right, when we don't have any valid case, we have a default keyword. So what we do in the default keyword? If there is no matching case, whatever is the default will be executed. So here we can say invalid day. Something like this. And then we can try to run this, right? So you can see invalidity. So guys, now if you ask me, right, in what scenarios you should use switch case, so I would say switch case is internally working as a if else only. But yeah, your code might look more cleaner. That's the only thing. Yeah. But what will be the when you should use your switch case? Like maybe you are say designing some menu based program, all right, you have say you have a developing some application where like based on the user input, like if user is entering say 1, you have to give him option of say add employee. If user is entering input say 2, you want it to give option of view employee, like this. So if you are doing these kind of things, then you can do all this, right? But this should be some constant thing. It cannot be something like a thing which is determined at the runtime. Okay. So someone is asking like, okay, let us suppose if we try something like this. So if we just want to take this input from the user, right? So we can use scanner class, right? We know scanner class, and there we can just say system.in, right? And we'll get the scanner thing. And for a scanner, we need to import this, right? So we just go and import, right? We just import java.util.scanner, right? So this is we have imported. And let us suppose if we just want to give, okay, this will be new scanner, okay. And here if I want to say scan.nextInt, it's something like this we want to do, Okay, and okay, we'll just say, we just print also sys out, enter the day, right? Okay, now if we run this program, right, and we entered say 2, right? So it's working. We can take this input from a user also, right? So we can do like this also. Okay, I think this is good, right? So now let's move on to the loops, like how loop work, what are loops. Okay, so before I go to the loop thing, right? So what is loop and why we do use loop, right? So, right, so whenever we want to do, right, some same kind of thing again and again, right? So in these kind of scenarios, we use loop, right? So there is something, some job which we want to get repeated. It can be like with minimal changes or some changes, right? Okay, so just maybe 1 second. Yeah. So can we survive without loop? So let us suppose if I ask you, right, that I want to say print a number say 4 times, something like this, right? So if I ask you that I want to print a number say 4 times or 10 times, so can you do it without loop? Yeah. So if I ask you like I want to print a number say 10 times, so what you can do? Let us suppose I was having a number say a equal to say 5, and you wanted to print it say 10 times, and I don't know loop. What can I do? I can just say system dot out dot a like this. This is system dot out dot println. You can consider it as system dot out dot. This is a short form we generally use. So like if I want to print this like this, I have to write it say 10 times, right? Right, something like this you can do. Let us suppose, I will just show you the code once we discuss this. Okay, let us suppose if I ask you that print number 1 to 10, right, without using loop, right? So what you can do, I can just say a equal to 1, then I will say system dot out dot print a, then what I will say, I will say a equal to a plus 1, then again I will write system dot out dot println a, then I will again write a equal to a plus 1, then we'll write system dot out dot println a. So this is how we'll write multiple times. So you can understand from this, right? When we are repeating same thing again and again, we use loops. This is a repeated task, right? So when you have a repeated task, in place of writing the same code again and again, we use loops. So all this should be replaced by loop, right? And guys, right, it's always right, we should avoid writing same code again and again. We should use loops or we should use methods for such cases. Okay. So, right, so we have 3 types of loop, right? So first let's discuss a for loop. So we have a for loop, right? So the syntax of for loop will be, right, you have an initialization condition here. Here there will be an initialization. Here there will be a condition. And here we have increment. This is how we define loops. And whatever the code you want to do as a part of loop, you will keep it in these curly braces. Like whatever we want to do say as a part of this loop, right? So this is how we generally write for loop. So okay, let's see for loop 1. Yeah, anyone? Okay. Someone is asking, right? What like someone was want to see this code once. Yeah, let me know what, like, if you have any doubt in this. Yeah, Ravi teacher. Is it good? And for the last case, we don't need to add a break statement because we know it's the last line, so it's not required. Okay guys, so there is one thing for you to try. Try, like normally you would have seen default at the end. Try to change this code and try to put default before some cases and see how does this work, right? So this is you have to do as a part of your homework. Try to put default in between cases and see if it works or not and what will the behavior. Okay guys, so let's see loop, for loop, that how it works. So loop. Okay, just name it say loop x, right? So loop are simple, right? We just need to define right? Okay, we'll not take this one. Let us suppose you are taking a number as an input, maybe like I'm defining it, say int 10. And what we want to do, we want to print from say 1 to 10. Okay, or what we'll say, let's do some other problem, and we'll say, okay, do you guys want me to start with problems in loop? Let's start doing some problems, right? Okay, so what is a problem? Right? Problem, for the given input, print all the even numbers, right? So this is a problem which you want to do. Like people who are new to loops, they will also understand. Okay, so we know, right? Okay, and we'll rename it also to say all even numbers, all even numbers. Okay, we'll just name this class say all even numbers, right? Okay, so user will give us an input, right? And we'll create an object of say scanner class, and this will be an integer, right? And just take one integer as an input. Okay, and we have to import this because it's defined inside the util package. So we'll just say dot scanner, right, like this. Okay, now we have a scanner. We'll just read it in any variable, right? Input num, we just define it, and we just say scan dot next int, right? So this is how we are taking an input. Now we want what we want from 1 to till this number. We want to print all the even numbers. Okay. So guys, what we will do? We know for loops. In for loop, the first, so we have this. First thing will be the initialization, right? So from where we want to start? We want to start from 1, right? Okay. Till which point we want to go? Till which point we want to go? We want to go till the input number. So we'll go till, we'll put here less than equal to, because we want to cover that input number also. Or let's see, like we will try to do this problem also in different ways. So this can be, you can consider it as your approach 1. And here what we'll do, we'll just say I++. So what it will do? So guys, how the loops work? Okay, I'll just say execute this. And then we'll do our problem. Okay, and we'll say, so guys, how the loop work? Like in a first iteration, the value will be, I will be 1. Then it will check for the condition, right? Okay, so, okay, I'll just execute this. So it will print all the numbers say from 1 to 10. So guys, how loop work? The first the I will be 1, then it will print it. Then it will check is 1 less than 10? No. It will increment also. So initially it will be 1. For the second iteration, it will be 2. Okay, maybe the people who are say completely new to the loop, I will just explain maybe 1 second. So guys, what we have written there, right? We have written, so we have written something like, 1 second. We have written something like for, let us suppose if I am going say from I1, I less than equal to 10, I++, right? This is how we have written the loops. So what will happen? In first iteration, I will be 1. So this is I, this will be executed first. Then it will check if I is less than equal to 10. No. Yes, it is 8. So this condition is true. So condition is true. Then it will execute the code. Right? Whatever is inside the loop, it will execute. Then after this, it will increment. Right? So like here what we are doing, we are printing say I, so it will execute this. So first this will happen, then second this will happen, then third this will happen, and fourth this will happen, right? Then again, and guys, this initialization, this is happens only 1, right? This will happen only first time. This will not be executed again and again. This will just happen only first time. Okay, then what will happen? After increment, it will again check if I is less than equal to 10. So now what is I? I is equal to 2, right? So this will be executed. This is the fifth thing which will be executed. Then it's true. It will again execute. And then again it will do increment, right? So this will be like a fifth thing for you. This will be again a sixth thing for you. Sorry, this will be a sixth thing because we have already done fifth. This will be a seventh thing for you, like this. It will keep going on loop work like this, any loop. Okay. So I think this would be clear for the people who are say new to loops. Okay, so now we have printed say from numbers, but we wanted what? Even number. So what we can do, right? We know, right, to check a even number. What we can do, we can just say if I percent 2 is equal to 0. If it's divisible by 2, it will be an even number. Here we can put the curly braces, or it's optional also because that's the one statement. Okay, now let's run this program and we will take say 20 as an input, right? Okay, so we have back to our program and I am giving say input 20. So you can see, right, for input 20 it's printing all the even numbers, because what will happen when I will come say 3, this condition will be false, it will not execute this, so it will not print anything. So this will be our one way of doing this problem, right? We are internally checking if it's an even number or not, and then we print this. Okay, let's try to do it some other way. What we can do? So we know, right, even number, they come after one gap, right? It will be like 2, 4 like this, right? So what can I do? In place of I plus plus, what I can do, I can simply say I equal to I plus 2, right? So it's not that I can just only write I plus plus here, right? I can do any increments here. I can also say I equal to I plus 2. And I know, now I know, but yeah, guys, here I need to start from 0, because if I start from 1, so it will be like I equal to 1, then I will do plus 2, it will be I equal to 3. So here it should start from 0, right? Or we can start from 2 if you want to print from 2. And then we'll just print. So what's the benefit here, right? We have reduced the number of times the for loop was executing by half, right? So in this case, loop is how many times the loop will be executed, guys? If I'm saying, if I'm giving an input say 20, how many times the loop will be executed here? Yeah. So what do you think? How many times this loop will be executed if I'm giving input 20? So for input 20, how many times this loop will be executed? Is it going to be 20, 21? What it will be? What do you think? Like how many times we will execute this loop? And also similarly, we'll see for the second case. 20 times, right? So this will, I think, we are saying 20 times. So yeah, normally this condition, all this condition, whatever is inside the loop, it will be executed 20 times. But if we talk about this part, right, the condition which is checking if it's true or not. So this statement which is at line 10, it will be executed 21 times. This state, because once it's checked, like once I will become 20, this condition, say when it becomes 21, the condition will fail, but this will be executed for that time also. So the loop, this statement 10, I will say it will be executed 21 times. So this will be executed 21 times, and all this will be executed 20 times. And you will see these kind of questions, right, in objective papers, interviews also, that how many times a particular statement is executed, right? Okay. Okay, when it comes to this, guys, how many times this loop will be executed for input 20? Now for the approach 2, which we have done, how many times this loop will be executed? It will be 20, 11, or 10. What do you think? Because here we are doing I equal to I plus 2, right? So what will happen? I will be 2, then I will become 4 directly. We are not, and because we have removed the if condition also. So with this, it will also be like you have reduced the time by half, right, in this case. Okay, similarly, you can also do the program, right? If you want, you can do the program, say, for printing odd numbers also, right? Like this. Or let us suppose I want to, okay, let's see one more problem. I'll just copy this code because it would be easy for us to take input and all. Sum n. Okay, so we are naming it, say, sum n. Okay. So what would be our problem statement? I think scanner part will just keep because we'll take n as an input, and just change our problem statement. Print the sum of first n numbers, right? So user will give us say input n, and we want to print the sum of all of them, right? Okay, so what we can do to achieve this? We can use loop also here, right? We just start from say I equal to 1, and we'll just go up to input number. Okay, so what we'll do, can we do just I equal to I plus 1, or what we can do, right? We know this is our input number, so we want to go till this point. So what the one option can be, you can use I only here, we can just say result. So result is 1, right? And each iteration what we'll do, we'll just say result equal to result plus 1, right? No. So we want to sum them, right? So it will not be result equal to result plus 1. We'll be doing result plus I. Because if we do result plus 1, it will just increment the result with 1. But what we want to do, we want to add the current number to this, right? So I will give us, so I would be 1, 2, 3 like this. And we'll just add it in the result. So if you want, I just say print the in sysout we can just see print for. So there is no harm like for testing your code if you just want to put sysout to see how the loop is behaving. Sysout are very good like in terms of like if you want to see how the loops is behaving. So we can just mention here current number. And what we'll do here? I. So this will be our current number. And guys, finally we'll print the result to the user, right? We'll just say sysout, and we'll just say sum of numbers, right? And just print the result here, right? Okay, so let's try to run this program. Let us suppose I wanted to do say for 100, right? So you can just see we are getting one by one each number, right? You can just see from 1 to 100 we got all the numbers, and finally we got all the sum also, okay? Sum came as 5051. So this current number we just printed for our convenience to understand this. We can just comment this also, that's fine, right? Okay, and we can just run this. And we can just say 100, we just got a direct output, right? This is also one example of doing the loop. Okay. The other thing can be, right? Let us suppose I will give you as a string as an input. Okay, so let's see the next problem today. Okay. So we can say string characters. Okay, so we are naming this problem as a string characters. Okay. So what will be our problem statement? Okay, so we'll take a string as input and print all the characters of the string, right? So do you want me to explain which ones? Which problem do you want me to explain? This sum n? Which problem do you guys want me to explain once again? This sum n problem or which problem? Okay, we'll explain this sum n problem maybe once again for you. So guys, what we are doing here, we are running loop from, result should be 0, because if we are initializing 1, we are adding 1 2 times. So we should keep it either 0 here, or if we are keeping it 1 here, it should start from 2, right? Yeah. Day 3 assignment I will explain you guys later on, don't worry about it. Yeah. So it should start from 0. Good guys. Should start from 0, otherwise we'll end adding 1 2 times. So guys, what happening here? We'll get I will be giving us 1 by 1, right? So what will be the I in first time? I will be 1. Then what it will be I will be 2. Okay, so maybe I'll just explain you. Okay, just 1 second. I'll just explain you guys, like people who are not understanding this. So guys, what will the case? Let us suppose in first case what? The I what would it be? Say I is 1 and result will be 0, right? So when we know, when I is 1, so initially result is 0. When we say I equal to 1, in this iteration we'll just make what? Result equal to result plus I. So result equal to 0 plus 1 will be 1, right? Then what we say for I equal to 2, what we did? We again say result equal to result plus I. What is the result? It will take this value here. So result is 1. It means that it will take this value here, not here. 1 second, I will just remove this. Otherwise it will create confusion for you. Yeah. So this one, yeah. So this one will come from here to here, right? So this will be 1. Then we'll again add I. So result will become 1 plus 2, 3. Then I is equal to 3. What will the result? Result equal to result plus. So we'll pick this 3 here, and then we will add I. That will be 6. And then I equal to 4. What is the result? Result is again result plus 1. We'll be having 6 here, then plus 4 equal to 10. So like this it keep going on. And guys, whenever you are doing loop, right, and you are confused somewhere, just try to run it for small use cases or small numbers, so we'll understand it better, right? So I hope this is clear now. Let's move to next problem. Okay, so what we want to do, we wanted to do a string character. So we're taking a string as an input and we want to print all the characters of the string, right? So do you guys want me to do, or you want to do it as a homework? Or you want to try it on your own, this problem? And these problems will be very common, right? Dealing this way to the strings. Right? Are you guys facing any issues with the link? Okay guys, so what do you think, like how can we get the characters of the string, all the characters of the string? How can we get them? So here we want to get all the characters of the string, right? So what can be an option with us, right? If you want to say get all the characters of the string. So what do you think? Like what can be the approach here? So guys, whenever you are attempting any problem, right? So we know, right? We know that how to take an input, right? But the next things which comes in, right? We should understand that what will be the approach. So it's not that always you should be going directly for the code. We should know like what is there in the language or what are the functions which are available, which you would be able to use, and what will be the logic. So here what the objective, we want to print all the characters, right? And to print all the characters, we should have some way to get all the characters, right? Like we should be able to get each characters. So now the question comes in how to get each characters, right? So like it's not that whenever you are doing any problem, it's not that you just jump into the solution. First you need to understand that how to get each characters. Like you should drill down there, that what would be the way, what can I do to get each characters. And once you understand then it comes in, right? And this is the main problem, right? So whenever, so there's one more thing, right? And even before thinking about what logic will we do, right? Right? What logic will we do? It also comes in like after we understand the problem. So guys, trust me, like whenever you understand the problem, right? Whenever you understand that what is the problem actually, what do they want us from us, the 50% of your question is solved, right? Your 50% question is solved. But sometimes, right, this has happened that we don't understand the problem and we try to solve it, right? So for these cases, we should avoid. Yeah, we'll do the attendance, guys. Don't worry. We'll do the attendance. I think if there's some issue with the attendance one, they will get it solved, guys. Don't worry about it. I will ask our team to check like what's maybe like the form is not enabled or something. Like they will just solve it. Okay, so we'll do the attendance after this problem. Okay, so for now, let's go with this problem. So the first thing comes in, right? We have to take an input from the user, right? So here in place of integer and anything, what will they take as input? It will be a, right? It will be a string, right? So we'll just use scanner only here, like using a scanner class, we can read strings also. So let us suppose if I say scanner and we just say new scanner, we will be reading from console, we just write system.in and just say, we'll just say string say string is import, and we'll say s dot next, right? So by default, if we just write next, it gives us string. Okay, what we want to do here? So we know, right? We have a caret method. So I can just say input dot caret, right? Input dot. Okay, why it's not showing us? We can just write this method. I think something is wrong with this caret. Oh, what? Okay, I think something, maybe we have not read it out. Okay, I think we forgot to add main method. One second. Normally we don't write much code in main method. That's why. Okay, we just push it to the main method. Okay, we just say input one dot caret, and we can pass any index here. So guys, what index value you want to access, right? So which value you want to access here? We want to access the value at each index, right? So what we can do here? We can use loop, right, to get the index count, right? We can just say for integer I equal to 0, right? Until which point we want to go? We want to go till the length of the string. So guys, we have a length method in string which we can use here. It just give us the length of the string. And it will not be equal to, it will be less than, because it will be starting from 0. Right? If we go to a till, and it will be difficult for us. And we'll just do I++. So here we'll get an index from 0 till the length of the string. And what we want to here, we just want to do system.out.println. And what we'll print here? We'll just print input one dot caret, which is at index I, right? So this is how we can print all the characters of the string. Okay, so okay, let's try to run this program. Let us suppose if we give an input, say hello. So you can see, right? Now it's printing all the characters of the string for us. Is it clear, guys? So this is how we can get all the characters. So that should be straightforward, right? Yeah, we have loop, while loop also. We have do while loop also in Java. We'll see some problems also with that part also. Yeah, so I think, and we'll also do a prime number problem today, and we'll also see how the flag works. So I think you would have seen that how the flag thing works. So we'll do that problem also today. So I think you can now just, you can fill in your attendance quickly. And in today's form, right, guys, we are planning to launch 2 premium courses also, which is like a data structure course and the advanced Java course. So you can just opt accordingly, like if you will be interested in that, and you will be notified accordingly. Because we're receiving a lot of requests from assignment 3 program. Will also do, guys. This is just the attendance which we are doing, and we'll do more problems, and we'll also do attendance 3 solution. Don't worry. Just do, let's do with the attendance quickly, and then we'll just focus on that part. And the attendance code today is 1243. Yeah, guys, you can opt for both course also. Like there would be classes alternatively. Attendance link you can just find in the and guys, like what, like as a community, what we are trying to do, we are trying to keep all the courses very cheap. And yeah, like we have to put some fees, like even we can go for like keeping them free, but yeah, like we want to have better experience in terms of like we will limit the number of students in both the courses, because we cannot go with large students. So that's why we're keeping them limited. So that's why we are keeping minimal course. Like it will not, like any course like which you see can be any advanced course, but the fees would not be like more than 2 or 3K, because we are doing all this as a part of community. Like it's not like we are not running any training institute or like to. So you can just fill in the form like if you are interested, and like you will be notified more about the courses. And we'll be launching soon. Like we'll find them soon on the. Okay, attendance link. I will ask uh, our team to share the attendance form also. And in the meantime, if anyone have any doubt in whatever is covered so far, you can just ask me. So if you have any doubts, you can just ask. And code for today is 1243. Okay, so just wait for 5 minutes. You guys can quickly fill the attendance. Okay, so someone is asking to reverse the string. Okay, so we'll do that program also if time persists. We'll see a program. So I think guys, these are very common problems, right? Which will be like at least the initial level of companies or like people ask in interviews. Like this seems easy, but I know like when someone asks that how to reverse a string in Java, yeah, prime number program, Fibonacci series program, these are very common programs also. So we'll try to cover today, or like we'll do it as an assignment, or then you can. We'll see the solution tomorrow. We'll try to cover these common problems. I think link is already shared, guys. You can just go for the link, and attendance code I have already shared with you 1243. So just fill in your attendance quickly. And premium courses you can just opt for that. Like, and the classes for premium courses will be like conducted on either Zoom or Google Meet, like because we'll not be conducting them on. No, we can just like it's a small string. So for yesterday assignment, we can do it directly with concatenation only. Like we can do it with plus substrings and plus. And like many of you don't know the code is not working, guys. Okay, I think it's fine. 1243. Like people it's working. Okay. So just do it quickly, guys. And in the meantime, if you have any doubt in whatever is covered so far, just ask me. I will cover that. And once the attendance is done, we'll just see. Like I'm trying to cover more problems, but yeah, we have to cover loop, the while part, and other things also. So let's see how much we can, how many problems can be covered. Like guys, I to be honest, I enjoy more like when we are doing problems or coding thing, because theory we know it. That's why I don't show you a long slide and all, because theory I know it's boring, and even our focus is right. People like there many times people know a lot of things in terms of theory. They know syntax of each and everything, but they don't know how to write code finally. And like when you go to, I would say, real scenarios, when you are sitting for any companies and all, you need code. So that's why like even we are launching this data structure course, so we want like people to know each and every thing, right? Because people start like coding, say stack queue, and once it's come to linked list, people got confused and they stop even studying data structures. Like we want like each and everything to be like you know the code of even trees, graphs, anything, right? So that's why we are. This is our focus. Okay, so let's move on. Like I think most of you would have been done. Okay, so let's go with the next part. Okay, so this is how we have just converted this string, and we have get the characters. Okay, so someone is asking reverse the string also. Okay, so let me do the reverse string only first. Okay, so we want to do a problem for reverse string. So what does a reverse string means? That user will be giving us some input, and we should get the output, right? Right? What will the output? Okay, so I'll just maybe reverse string. Okay, so this is our class. Okay, we have just taken this as a. Okay, we just change the problem statement. Write a program to reverse the input string, right? For example, if the given string is hello, output should be hello, right? So this should be the output. Someone is asking what is length, right? Substring concept, guys, I will explain you with the assignment solution. Don't worry. Like assignment solution, I will explain you about substring also. Don't worry. Okay, string palindrome. Okay, we'll see, right? If we would not be able to cover problems, we'll cover them as a part of maybe assignments or tomorrow. Don't worry. Okay, so we want to do a string and we want to reverse it, right? Okay, so we got a string as an input, that's it. Okay, now things come in. So guys, if you see here, what I want to do, I want to get the characters from here, right? If you see, if there is some way, right? So, okay. So maybe I'll just explain you. This is very common, or I would say very important problem, right? Which we will find in a lot of interviews also. People ask this, like how to can you like write a code to reverse a string? Like we want hello, and what is the output we want? We want this is something like output we want. So guys, if we talk about indexes here, right? Right. So if I say this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So guys, always with the problem also understand the approach, because it's not that you will always see same problem. You should also know how to approach a problem. So if you see here, this is something like we have moved index 4 here. So whatever the value was at index 4, we have kept it here. Whatever the value was index 3, we have kept it here. Whatever the value at index 2, we have kept it here. Whatever the value at index 1, we have kept it here. And whatever the value at index 0, we have kept it here. So somehow we want to access the index in the reverse order, right? So this is something you were trying to do here, index in reverse order. So guys, I know, right? Just now what the problem we have done with caret, we know, right? We have accessed the index from 0 to like this. Can we do something like reverse in loop? We want something like this here, right? Right? So we want something like this. Okay. Then how to achieve this? So this is you understood, right? Here what we want something from reverse. Okay. So, okay, let's go to our loop. So guys, initially, right, it's not that we'll initialize I with 0 or we'll always initialize I with 1. We can initialize I something like input 1 dot length. Okay, now question comes in. Okay, for now I will keep it length 1. And then what will the condition I should be greater than equal to 0. Until which point, and what will do I minus minus. Okay, so this might be look something different for the people like who are new to coding or who are new to negative indexes. So what we are doing here, I'll just explain you guys. So let us suppose your string was say hello, right? And what I did I equal to input dot length, right? And what was the second case? I greater than equal to 0. And what we are doing here, I minus minus, right? Something like we are doing. Okay. Oh, so what is the length of this? I is become 5, right? I will become 5. And then with condition check, I is greater than equal to 0, yes. So I equal to 5. Is condition is I greater than equal to 0? Yeah, this condition will be true. And then we'll say we'll try to fetch the character at 5, right? Because we want to access this string from the back. Okay, let's go here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, this is not working for us, right? We cannot start from length because we know, right? Index start from 0. So what we did wrong here, we have to change it to minus 1, right? Because when it comes to indexes, it should be 1 less, right? So we should start from input.length minus 1. So I kept it intentionally input.length. So we should start from 4, right? So we should start from input.length minus 1. And we should get a character at the index 4, right? So sometimes might happen something what happened, right? You just write, don't worry, right? Guys, coding is not about just getting your solution in first shot, or you don't have to learn this program. You need to logic, you need to know the logic, and then you can write it, right? If you, it's not that when at the first time what happens, right? I've seen many students, they run the program, it's showing some compilation error and they got panic. This is not about coding, guys, right? It's about solving the problems. Okay, so we know, right? We'll start from input.line. We'll go till the I is greater than equal to 0. Why we have greater than equal to 0 here? Because we are decrementing here. Because once first I is 4, we'll fetch a character at 4. Then I decrementing. I equal I minus minus, then I will become 3. Yes, I is greater than 0. Yes, we'll fetch a character at third. Similarly, we'll do I equal to 4. We'll fetch character at 2. Similarly, we'll do for this will be 2, and then this will become 1, and we fetch a character at 1, and we'll fetch a character at similarly at 0, like this, right? Okay, yeah guys. So okay, this is clear. Okay, so I hope you have understood this, right? So this is like in reverse order we are running this loop. Okay, let's move on to the code quickly, right? So here what we'll do, we can just say, okay, I'll just show you printing I first. So at least you understand that how the I is going through, right? Okay, so we'll just print, say, I'm just giving an input hello. So you can see, right, I is coming 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but we don't have any value at index 5, so we'll just start from -1, right? So this will how it will should go. And in place of sys out, what we have to do, right? In place of sys out, we have to fetch the value at that index. And how we can fetch? We can just do caret, right? So what we do, we'll just say sys out input1 dot caret. Okay, and let me do I. Okay, let's try to run this program. What happens? Let's see. So here we can see it's printing the inputs in the reverse order. We are getting 0, L, L, L. But we wanted what we wanted? We wanted the string to be reversed, right? So what we can do? If we just remove ln. Okay, now let's try to run this. If we are printing hello, it's printing OL, right? That's it. But guys, there can be cases where in place of printing this, right, what we wanted to do, in place of printing, we wanted to say store it in some variable. Okay, so what can be done here? What can we do to store it in a variable? So guys, in place of sys out, we can just create a string, right? Right, we can just create a string and we'll keep appending this. Right, so I'll just say, okay, so this can be one approach. So I'll just say add one more, so we don't lost it. We'll just add one more class here, right? So we don't lose this code. Right, okay, so, and in this what we'll do, we'll try to, in place of sys out, we'll try to save it. Okay, so we'll just maybe like I will just define, say, an empty string, right? So this is our empty string, right? And what we want to do here, we want to, so whatever is coming as a part of caret, right, we'll just make s equal to s plus, and this will be input1 dot caret I. So here in place of directly printing this, or we can just, in place of s, which, okay, because s is already a scanner, we'll just say reverse string. We just name it, say, reverse string, right? Because this will look better. And this will be our reverse string, and I will also give reverse string, right? So this will be our output. We can just, once the loop is over, we can just print this, right? We just print this reverse string, right? Okay, so in this case, we are not storing it, we are just printing it, right? Okay. So now, okay, let's run this program. You are giving say input as say hello world, something like this. It's giving us hello. There's something like while reading say multiple, like when there is a spaces. Okay, we can just say give input something like this. Hello world. See, because it's like whatever the input we give, it's split it based on the space. So I think for now we just give it say without space. Maybe right, something like this. So in case the difference is right, sometimes someone asks you that you don't just print it directly, also store it in a variable. In these cases, you can do this. Okay, so is it clear to all of you that how we can reverse string, how we can directly print the reverse string, and how can we also store it in a variable and then print? Any doubts in this? Okay, so okay, let's see some like while loops and other things. Okay, and one more thing, right? Okay, let's see one more approach here. So if you see here, right, whenever we're giving a spaces, it's not working. So for this, what we can do is we can just give, in place of next, we can just use next line. So what next line do? It read the complete line. Otherwise, it will read till space. So if you want to say read a line which is also having a space, right? Okay, now let's run this one. Let's see if we want to run it for say hello world. Right? In this case, you can see it's handling the spaces also properly, right? Yeah. So I think I hope you understood, right? What we have done, we are iterating through the string from the reverse order, right? We are fetching each character from the end one by one, and then we are creating a new string, right? Like this. Okay. And this is how we can do this. Someone is asking, can we reverse a string without using an extra space? So guys, one thing, right? Strings, they are, right? What they are? They are immutable in Java. So you cannot modify the existing string on. And anyhow, you have to create a new string. So what we are doing here, we're just creating an empty string here, and then we are just updating this string with the characters. Like here we'll say for hello world, here what we'll get? We'll get D. Then we'll get L like this. We are getting, and then all the things will be keep appending here. That's it. Okay. 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 So let's see the while loop. Okay. So how the while loop will work? Okay. And what is while loop? Right, so we'll just see while loop and that how the while loop. So guys, here you will see one thing, right? So if you see any definition which we have used for loop, we know, right, that what is the initial value, right? 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 All this we know. In this case, if we don't create an empty string, guys, we have to store this string into some variable, right? Either you can define it directly here. If you try something like this, right? So it will always create it will like a reference variable, new string, right? Something like this if you try to do. But so whatever you define inside a loop, right? So whatever you're defining inside a loop, you cannot access it outside the loop. So if you see here, right, it's showing the error that it cannot resolve this to a variable. So that's why we have to define it outside the loop so we can access it outside the loop. So whatever is defined inside the loop, it will be accessible only inside the loop. So that's why we have to define it before loop. So that's why it's required, right? Okay. So we have while loop, and while loop it's simple, right? We just say while, and here we write the condition in the while part. Here it's come the condition, and whatever we want to execute as a part of while. So while loop we majorly use, right, when we are not sure about the like how many times we want to execute the loop, right? So if we see for loop, we know about what is the So if you see any for loop case, right? So we are sure from where what is the initialization condition, what is condition, what is increment thing, right? Yeah, for next is does not include the spaces. If there is a space, it will not include. If we want to read complete line, we need to use next line. Okay, so yeah, while loop we just give a condition here and whatever we want to do, the condition would be similar to the for loop. So if I say, right, let us suppose you want to take a input from a user and then you want to terminate your program. Okay, so before I go for while loop, let's see some keywords, right, which are break or continue keywords. So guys, I just wanted to know, like, have you must have seen break and continue keyword. So guys, break and continue keywords, do we use them with loops or do we use them with if else condition? Break continue keywords, like if you have seen in other languages, do we use them with loops or do we use them with if else? Have you seen them with if else or loop? Right? Okay. So what you have seen? You have seen loop break with loops or if else? Both break or continue keyword. These are very useful keywords. Loops, because I have seen them normally with if else. Have you seen have you seen the code something like this? Okay, before I move on to the while loop, have you seen a code something like this? That for integer say I equal to 0 and I less than 10, I plus plus break. Will this work? What will the output of this? We're trying to use break with for loop. Or normally you have seen something like if this looks more familiar or this looks more familiar. Integer a equal to 10 if a is greater than 11 or greater than say 5, break. So which one looks more familiar, this one, first one, or the second one? Right? Which one is look more familiar? The first one or the second one? Right? So I think this one looks more familiar, right? Second one, no? What do you think, guys? I think for me, I normally see in if with like this, right? So guys, normally, right, break and continue keywords, they cannot be used directly inside if else, right? This is not allowed. They will be always inside the loop. If and they can only survive inside the loop. Inside the loop, you can have if condition and you can just break. So what does continue means? Continue to the next iteration. Break means get out of the loop. Now this is the two keyword which we use. But we use them normally with if else. We have seen with the if else, but they will always be inside the loop. Right? So break, you will get out of the loop. It will just continue the statement, continue the next statement and skip other statements. Okay, so I'll just show you quickly the use case of this. I think we are running out of time. Yeah guys, so let us suppose I just want to run this loop, and if say if I is greater than 5, I just want to get out of the loop, right? So I can just say I equal to 5 and it will be end, right? Let us suppose if I just printing here I, right? So once I will become 5, it will just stop the loop, right? It will just stop the loop. right? If I just say run this program, so you can see here, right? It's printing when I is become 6, 6 is greater than 5, right? It's break. It's not printed the rest of the thing, right? It has not printed whatever was there, right? So this is how the break keyword works. Similarly, so let us suppose if we talk about continue. So how the continue will work? It will just skip the statement which is after that. Okay, maybe I'll just create a copy of this file. Right? Okay, so how the continue works? Let us suppose we will just say printing. Here we'll just say print before, and we'll just print say I. So whatever is after this, like if the condition is true, it will not execute whatever is here. Let us suppose if I'm just saying after I, right? And if we execute this program, right? So what you can see, it's printing before 0, after 0, before 1, after 1, like this all. And later on what happened? It's have not printed after 6 and all, because if I is greater than 5, it will just continue and it will go back to the loop like this. Okay? Okay guys, so I think this is clear. These are very important keyword guys. Okay, let's see now the while loop part. While loop, we'll just say we'll demo, something like this. Okay, so what we'll do in while loop? So while loop, right? In while loop, we just have a, right? So how, I think I'll just explain you also that while loop is while, and there is a condition. Till the point the condition is true, right? It will execute this, right? We don't need to always have initialization and other things. Yeah, like continue you can use if you want to skip for any cases the few statements which are after that. Okay, so for while loop what we'll do? Okay, let's see. We are writing a program, say we are taking a from user, right? We're taking a say some yes no program, or we are doing say scanner as new scanner. You have seen, yeah, with switch also we use break because we are exiting the cases. But normally, otherwise, you will see it in loop. The reason is you have seen with if else because based on some condition we want to get out of the loop. That's why you have generally see it with if else. Okay, so what do we want to do? We just take as a input from a user. We just say system.out.println. And you want to continue. Something like this, like if we are creating a program which will continuously run, right? And here we'll say, let us suppose we are taking an input, right? We're just saying string in equal to scan dot next. So here we'll get the input. The user wants to continue, yes or no, right? While, we'll just say while true. So while true means the program will never end. While true means because we have given a condition true, which is always true. So what we can do here? What can be done here? Let us suppose if n is equal to say no. If user have entered no, we'll just break. We'll just get out of the loop, right? Okay. Else what we'll do? Else what we'll do? We'll just show the user this part, right? We'll just ask user, do you want to continue? And user will input. And we'll store it in the same variable which is in, right? We'll just store it again here and then it will again check because this loop is continuously running. This loop will not stop, right? This will be continuously running. Okay, let's try to. So this is a way you can also write a manual driven program, or you don't want to like keep running your program again and again. So based on user input, your program should terminate. So once user enter n, your program should terminate. Otherwise, it should keep asking the user if he wants to continue. Okay, let's run this. I think we have run some other program. Okay, So it's asking, do you want to continue? It said no. Do you want to continue? No. Right? No. Okay, when we say yes, it should terminate. Oh, it's still not terminate. So what's happening, guys, here? Something is wrong with the condition. Right? Okay, when we are saying no, oh, it's still working. Right? Okay. So one thing we need to understand, right? We are checking this in. Okay. And here it should be, do you want to continue? No, it should break. But this program is running for n also, and this program is running for yes also. So maybe something is wrong, the string is handled, right? Okay. So for now what we'll do, we'll just forcefully kill this program and we'll try our program. Okay. So now we want to test that what is wrong with the if condition or something. So what we'll do, okay. So here we'll do boolean. So now it's important to understand if we are giving input, is it really coming as something or what's wrong? Right? Or is it having some new line character and all, right? Or we need to use something else, right? Okay. So I think, okay, maybe I think you guys also know this thing. So let's go directly. So we have a equals method also to compare two strings, right? Okay, let's try it with equals. I will tell you what is equals. Okay, let's try and run this program. Do you want to continue? Yes. Okay, do you want to continue? Yes. Do you want to continue? No. Still not working, right? Or it's done. Right? It's not asking you again. So now it's working. So what's the difference here, guys? So I think yesterday we discussed about string constant pool and string, right? So what equals do? Equals compare the actual strings. It will work for, because we don't know how the scanner is creating the objects of the input string, right? So it will work for both strings with string constant pool and string with new keyword, right? So equals works for both string constant pool or string keyword. So the reason the last program was not working for us was internally scan must be creating using new keywords, and we cannot use double equal to for the new keyword strings, right? So that's why we have to use equals here. So this is how we can design a menu driven program, guys. Is it clear to all of you? Scan.next read the next string. I think this is already we discussed with the string programs. Okay, so we'll discuss about do while also. So we have do while also in Java. I'll just quickly explain you. So guys, here you see that first we are reading and then we are executing the loop. But there can be cases where we want the loop to execute first, right? So what will happen in do while? So what is do while do? It will execute the code. So this is how we'll see do while. So if we want the case we want code to execute once before checking condition. So whenever you want to execute your code before checking the condition, you will use do while. Right? So this is something like we can do. So guys, here if you see, right, we want this scanner to work also first time, right? So what we can do, we can just write it in some do while way, because we want this, we want to ask user first time also. So we can just say do this and we'll move this code also there. Right? If this, then we'll break. So this is how we can do the similar code in the do while. So this is our if condition, this is our while condition, this will our while condition will turn. So this is how we can do the same program. So this will look more clear because we wanted this to be first executed and then, right, then the condition to be checked. So this is how we can do while. The difference between while and do while is that the only difference which is there, do while execute your code at least once before checking the condition, while first check your condition, then it will execute your code. This is the only difference between while and do while. And this program will also work same, and we don't need to take our input first like this. We can just, it will work similarly. Do you want to continue? Yes, no, like this, right? And this program is stopped. Okay? So this is a one way of like do while. This is our do while loop. Okay, I think I just changed this code. Okay, that's fine. Just rename this one. Okay, guys. So now I think we are good with like all the loops and other conditions things. I'll just explain you about the assignment solution. Also, I will just share with you. So this was your assignment 3, and I'll just share the solution. Okay, so I think once we are done with the assignment solution, we'll just be good today for today. Okay, so what was the problem given there, right? We want to exchange the keyword, right? We want to exchange the strings. Okay, I'll just open the problem statement quickly if you have it handy. Let's see if this is okay. So this was a problem statement, right? So there was some printing mistake, and we wanted the characters to be exchanged. We will taking two string as our input, right? And we want first two characters of one string with the last two characters of other string, and same thing needs to be done to the both the strings. And we should not use for loop there. And if this is a string, we want the output to be, these are two strings, and we want the output to be this. Right, the first two characters of this will go here, the first two characters of this will go here, and they are exchanged, right, like this. So I hope the problem statement would be clear to all of you. I'll just, maybe for example, I'll just copy this here for our reference. Okay. So using a scanner, we can just take the two strings as an input, right? Just create a scanner of input. I think once we are done with this assignment, the session will be over. So if you can just watch this solution later on. If you want to give, you can give. Right, using scanner, we'll just scan. So we'll just say input 1. Similarly, we'll read input 2. Right. So this is our input part which is done. But guys, what we want? We want the first two characters of first string to move on like this, right? So we'll create, say, result 1, right? And what we want in result 1? In the first string, we want the first two characters from the second string. So we know, right, we have a substring method. And if you want first two characters, I can start from 0 and I can go till 2. So we'll get 0 and 1, right? This will be the first two characters of the first string. But here we want these first two characters to be at the end, right? We don't want at the starting, right? So at the starting, what we want the last two characters of the another string. So we'll just go from substring, right? So we know, right, we have a length method which we can use. So here what we'll do, from first string, okay guys, what I will do, I'll just maybe store this in some variable so it's easy for you guys. So we know the length of the first string will be this, right? And the length of the second string will be this, right? So these are the length of the both the strings. Okay, so while creating the result for first string, what we'll do, from the second string, we'll fetch the characters from which part? We'll get the, okay, so maybe what we'll do, okay, to make it easy for you guys, okay, so we'll say last two for second. So what are the last two characters for second? What will the last two characters say for second? It will be input 2 dot substring. So we know, right, length of the string. We want to go till length 2. And here, so let us suppose if the string is, say, this is a string, right? So what will the value? It will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? It's 7. So this will be 7. And what we'll want here, we just want last two characters, we'll just get length to minus 2, right? So we start from this index, right? We'll start from 5 and we'll go to 7. So it will include the value which is at index 5 and 6. Similarly, we can do so last two for first, right? And this will be length 1 minus 2 and length 1 because we are getting it from first. Similarly, we can get the first two characters of both the strings. So what will be the first two characters? Okay, I think here we name it, say, last two for 1, and this is last two for 2. Okay. And now we'll say first two for 1. So what will the first two for 1? We'll start from 0 and we'll go up to 2, right? And similarly, so this is first two for, okay guys, I think we have just messed up with the variable name. It will be 2, it will be 1. This we can also, this will be 2, first two for 2, and this will be first two for 1. Right? So we have fetched all the characters using substring method, right? So is it clear to all of you? So this is how we have fetched the string. So I have written all these substrings separately so you understand better, right? How we are getting the strings. Okay. Now when we are creating, say, result 1, what we want to do? So in result 1, what we want to do? We want the last two characters of second, but then we want the remaining part of first also, right? So what will the remaining part of first? It will be substring, and from where we'll start? We'll start from index 2 until which point we'll go? We'll go length 1 minus 2, right? Till this point we'll go, and then we'll add the last first two for 2. Right? This will be our result 1. Here what we have done, we are starting from, because we'll get these two characters here, but we have to get the remaining string also here, right? This part also we have to fetch. Okay, and similarly we'll write the result 2, and this will be the last one for 1. Okay, last two for 1, sorry, and this will be the first two for 1. And here it will be the input string 2, and we'll start from 2 and we'll go till length minus 2. So this is how you guys will get both the strings. So is it clear to you guys? And you just need to print this. Result 1 and sys out result 2. Right? So this is how we can do. Okay, let's try to run this program, say, for given input. So we have entered first string as this, and we entered second string as this. Oh, we got an error. So string out of range at 9. So guys, what we have done wrong? So you can see at 21 line, we are trying to access a value which is at index 9. This is length, okay, this should be string 1 because we are fetching from string 1. Okay, let's try to run our program again. So this will be our first string, and this will be our second string, right? So you can see it's coming as an expected output. Okay guys, so I think this is the way you can solve the assignment 3. Yeah guys, so if you have any doubts, you can just ask me, otherwise we'll just end up the today's session. Is it clear to all of you? Clear assignment solution? So what we are doing here, right? We know the length is say 9 and we will be starting from, because we want last two characters. So if say length is 9, last two character will be at 7 at 8 index, right? So if length is 9, it will be 7, right? Like this. Okay guys, so thanks for joining for today. See you all tomorrow, right? And complete your assignments on time. Thanks everyone. We'll just end up the session. Thank you guys. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.